Ladies and gentlemen, today is a very special day. It's a day that you don't really plan on when you wake up and you're like, what could possibly happen today? And I'm not even talking about my own life, but in pop culture. And lately on this show, if you've heard, I've had a growing fascination with plural marriage. With a show called Sister Wives on TLC. Now, this show has been going on for 17 seasons. And I guess that's what it takes, 17 seasons to get to a really amazing, gripping season. But what's happening off screen right now, which hopefully we'll see on screen in season 18, is that we got news today. I mean, okay, so Cody had 4 wives. Cody is the male of all the plural marriage. He thinks of himself as a Bill Paxton from Big Love on HBO. This guy and I swear to God, I'll introduce our guest in a second. I just want to give you a little background. Cody is this guy that whines all the time, has 4 wives. 2 of the wives this season have left so far. Actually, one just on the show. The second one we know from the press has left. And then today, the one that we thought was going to stay, like you were going to have to drag her away, was Mary. Right. She's been there 34 years. She left, and we got news today. So without further ado, I got a DM tweet that thank God I saw, but there's a very popular podcast called Moms and Murder, which is actually changing to Moms and Mystery in the new year. But don't worry, they said there's still going to be murder. It's just Moms and Mystery. They're doing a name change. So just be aware of that. It's an amazing podcast. And also our next guest has been on this show before for her other podcast, Criminality, which I love. So Melissa, welcome back to the show. Give me your background in Sister Wives fandom.
So I was totally a Big Love fan and watched Big Love. And then this is where then all of a sudden we find out that there's this Sister Wives show that's, reality based on it. And I was like in right away.
I'm in.
So day 1, episode 1, I've been there. I've been a brown head for all of these years. Like I've stuck with it. I'm the Mary. I've been here. I refuse to leave.
I've been in these streets. Yeah. So I only got into this 3 seasons ago during quarantine. First, this is just a question for Ryan. Is it worth going back to season 1? Is it worth going back for somebody that's watched it from the beginning? Is it worth, because I feel like it's like the Star Wars prequels. Like I already know what's going to happen. And it seems like it gets worse and worse as the seasons go on. Is there any advantage for any of us just hearing about the show to go back to season 1?
Honestly, I started a rewatch recently, and I've never done a rewatch because it's 17 seasons. And it's fascinating to see how there's been things all along that we just didn't really see or didn't really pick up on. And so now it's kind of fun to compare it. By the way, Cody's been wearing those stupid gloves for 17 seasons.
Guys, Cody wears these serial killer gloves that he's like, and then Cody, by the way, if you want to see some amazing hair work, Cody this season is with the tendrils of hair. Yeah. I really look up to his tendrils of hair. It's like really amazing what he's doing with very little at this point. Will you go through what are the names of the Sister Wives for all the people listening that have never watched the show?
Absolutely. Happy to do it. Mary, she was the head honcho, first wife. She and Cody got married 34 years ago, as you were saying. And do you want to know how many kids they have? I can tell you.
Let me guess. Is it
okay? Mary,
is
how many
it
kids?
Okay? With Mary,
just Mary.
Mary only has 1 kid.
1, yes, that's Leon.
Okay.
Christine,
and by the way, Leon Leon is a transgender and and we don't get to see Leon on the show as much anymore. But Leon's. I mean, that's amazing. I think that's awesome. But Mary had 1. Is there a reason? Like, what is the conceit in the show that did he go on a rock and God talked to Cody and he said, I have to get another wife?
Before they even got married, Mary was a part of this church that has, that believed in the principle is what they always call it. And so before they even got married, they both wanted to be in polygamy because Cody's dad had converted to polygamy. Later on, Cody's dad married Janelle's mom. So I mean, there's a lot
Cody's dad. So there's another wife, Janelle, who they got. So who's the second wife?
Second wife is Janelle, and Janelle and Mary butted heads from the beginning. They did not see eye to eye. They talk about it in their wonderful book, Becoming Sister Wives. Don't read it. It's really not worth it.
Their wonderful book.
I read it.
So his
Yeah.
second wife is Janelle. And how many years ago was that?
I think they got married 2 or 3 years after Mary and Cody got married. But Janelle actually used to be married to Mary's brother. So that's actually how Janelle
I
knew
didn't
the
know.
family.
Oh, God.
Yeah. There's like Eskimo cousins, but
Oh, okay.
edit
So,
that.
so it's been 17 seasons. What year did it start? Because I think they do 2 seasons a year, it seems like.
Yeah, something like that. I feel like it was 2009, something like that, 2009, 2010. Because I want to say either my daughter was young. I feel like this was near Jersey Shore, or I might have been
Oh, this is
pregnant. I
horrible
don't
that you're
know.
comparing your daughter's life to Sister Wives. You're like, she
I
was
do that
young
with the
back
Casey
then.
Anthony trial too. I'm like, I was pregnant when people were looking for Kaylee. That's literally how.
people
That's my
people were
calendar.
very worried about me having a Diana. No, so Janelle's the second wife, and they
Yep.
have 3 kids together.
They have 6 kids together.
Oh, way off.
4 boys, 2 girls.
4 boys, 2 girls. Okay. And then the third wife is
Christine.
Christine.
She is a gem of a human. And she basically, they say in their book, and in general, you hear him talking about it, that he basically married Christine to help be a buffer between Mary and Janelle because they were not getting along at all.
Smart, Cody. Very smart. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So she was
He
the
also
buffer
talks-
wife.
Yeah. She was the buffer wife. She's the fun, up for everything. Light.
She is, by the way,
light in the world.
she
She's the
is my
best.
favorite. She is my favorite on the
She's
show. Like,
great.
and we'll get to her journey in a second. So then the fourth wife is and this seems to be, even in the 3 seasons I've watched, his favorite wife, and her name is Robin. And they how many kids did they have together? They have young kids.
Right. So he and Christine have 6 kids. I don't think we said that. They have 5 girls and 1 son. And then he and Robin had 3 kids from a previous marriage, 2 daughters and a son. And then together they had a daughter and a son. So they have 5 together.
It is interesting that you say like some of these sister wives, they were already married previously. So it's like, it's interesting that the sacred vow of marriage really isn't that sacred for them. Like they can cry and
Not
moan,
like
but
you
it
would
seems
think,
like,
right?
yeah, like you would think that it would be this sacred bond, or at least, they're an offshoot of a Mormon religion. You are bonded in the temple where, once that bond happens, that's who you're with in the highest level of heaven. If you follow the Mormon religion, supposedly, right?
Yeah.
Um, So Robin is this, she's obviously the favorite wife, and Cody supposedly took COVID very strictly and just stayed with Robin the whole time,
Right.
pretty much. And she has, and this is like, listen, I'm not a great looking person, and Robin's really pretty when she does, but whatever she's doing to her eyebrows, she needs to stop. It's just too intense.
She looked great when she had COVID, though. They were.
I know she was in the hospital, you
fresh.
guys, and it was just regular. It was just
like a
normal
glow-up.
eyebrows. I know. And then she paints them on when she goes. It's like Groucho Marx or something. Do you think Robin is unfairly blamed for destroying these sister wives?
I mean, yeah and no. I think she is in his ear the most, and so she kind of controls things. But I think he was always a piece of crap, and they just put up with it because of this celestial kingdom and this promise of the afterlife and everything. So I put blame on her for sure, but I think it's him.
And the thing is, you guys, he is legally married to only one of these wives, and that, of course, is Robin. And he divorced which wife did he divorce? Mary to marry Robin?
He divorced Mary, yeah. He divorced Mary and married Robin so he could adopt her kids. But she's a legal wife. She's a legal wife all the way.
Okay, so the big news today, and there's a lot of big news here, because in this season, we've watched him and Christine dissolve their marriage, Christine being very brave. And we see her, I kind of say like escape to Utah, which, because this guy is whining and moaning and saying, this past week's episode, he was like, God, gosh darn it, guys. And
throw in the gloves. He's just mad.
And you guys, it's like a really serious, there's nothing like this on television, right?
No. Nothing like this at all. It's so intense. And since they changed the music from them being like ethereal and, happy, and I chose this and I love it, to now just silence and just this creepy I think it even says dark music when you have closed captions on when you're 100 like me. But it's a totally different vibe and it's dark.
And so she escaped to Utah, said she did not want to be married anymore, and told Robin that she doesn't really want to have a relationship at this time with her, but she is still very good friends with Janelle. I mean, they just seem like they have a really cool Thelma and Louise type friendship.
Mm-hmm.
And the news that happened in this last week and a half was that Janelle finally left. And we could see it bubbling on the show in this last week's episode of like, you're making me choose between our kids. And because Christine was coming back and they were going to share an Airbnb for Christmas, because Cody is at odds with all of his kids because of COVID. And he said, well, they got to apologize to Robin if they're going to come back and spend Christmas. And he's like, I didn't mean that. I didn't say it. I took it back.
I took it back immediately.
I took it back. And
he still said it.
So it's a really unfair position to put her in. So she left, according to Us Weekly and all these things, about a week. I mean, I don't know when the exact date was, but she's gone. And then the news that I never thought I would read this morning, I read, is that Mary, the first wife, 34 years, has left Cody. What did you think when you read that?
I thought it's a plug-tastrophe. I can't believe we're even here after all of these.
I mean, I'm starting to think plural marriage isn't the way to go. And it bums me out.
So.
Like, it bums me out that he's failed all plural marriages everywhere.
He has. And that was their whole thing, right? They came on to show what a normal family
that is
they
their
were.
whole thing. Yeah.
And you kind of bought it for a while. But then if you look back, everybody was pretty miserable at different times, but he just refuses to believe it. There was a scene in the season this year when Robin says to Christine, you were happy when we were in Vegas. And she says, no, I wasn't. She's like, you were happy. You went on dates. Just like rewriting history. You can't have your own opinion in this family. It's wild. I mean, I love it, but I don't want to be a part of it.
What I love about it too, you guys, is I've said this before, is the pacing. It's slow. Like, so at first you might be like, oh, this is kind of boring. But then if you get into it, it kind of locks you in with the slow pacing and these extended conversations. You know, on like Housewives, it's all fast-paced editing and all this stuff. These are like long played out scenes. And it's kind of really interesting because the pauses say so much that all these women, they're around like a shitty campfire out back and they're just having this normal conversation. They're not at a fancy restaurant. They're it's all like shopping at Costco and their clothes. Yeah, it's the real life. And I wanted to point out too, Mary, in this last week's episode, Mary kind of stood up for Cody, and Cody in a talking head goes, Mary's sticking up for me and I don't even want to be in a relationship with Mary. I don't even want to be. So Mary, and the thing was, a couple of years ago, Mary, in all fairness, got taken in by a catfish situation. Yeah.
We've all been there.
And she said the catfish poisoned her mind against Cody and the family. So since then, and I mean, this, you could kind of understand this a little bit. Cody said he could not be, in a sexual relationship with Mary anymore, even though I don't think they were probably in one to begin with.
I think they've said it's been like 10, 15 years at this point. It's been a long time. It's before the catfish.
So, but she's staying in there, like she's waiting to get to that retirement age where you get your your 401k.
She's in it for the 401k. Yeah.
That's but I said today, I said, there's no job security. And like, is next season just going to be called Wife and it has Robin? Do you think Robin's going to stay?
I don't think that neck can hold up this whole show.
Her eyebrows can.
Sturdy neck.
Those sturdy eyebrows can. No. I mean, but Robin keeps saying in Talking Heads, you guys, that she doesn't want to be the only wife. She got into this because she loves plural marriage and having sister wives, that bond. But I'm also like, can't you just have good girlfriends?
Thank you so much. Can't you just find a friend? Aren't there there's apps for this? There's like Bumble for friends. Find a friend. Why do you need to like share cold sores. The beginning, they all were sharing cold sores. The first few seasons, you just see like a hopping cold sore. Everyone has one. They're all sharing
that was a major plot line in the beginning, just cold sores.
It was cold sore gate. Yeah. So I feel like you could have a friend and not have to share,
Well, you do podcasts with two of your
them.
female friends.
Sure.
You would never think like, oh, I should get into a sister wife situation since I'm doing a podcast with these women.
I'm very big on a non-sexual sister wives relationship. Me and my best friend talk about it all the time. We want like a place to live, non-sexual. We don't even need a husband, but we can share the responsibilities. I like that. And I think actually early on, this situation made sense when everybody's kids were little and they were sharing the burden and, sharing that kind of life. But now that everybody's more independent, it really doesn't make sense. Now you're just dealing with this man who's hopping around to different people every night.
And what scares me is that you can see in real time all of these kids getting screwed up. All of these kids getting angry at their father, not understanding this plural marriage, and the breaking point, I think Janelle, they bought this parcel of land in
Coyote
Flagstaff,
Pass.
Arizona called Coyote Pass. And they were each going to build. First, there was going to be one main house that everybody lives in the main house. And then that didn't fly. So it was going to be every sister wife gets their own house on a parcel of land. And then Cody gets his own house as well. It's like literally, this is the kind of shit I used to do like 8 years old with a treehouse. I was like, I'm going to build a room for you and I'm going to build a room for you. And it was all these plans. And then COVID hit and the Coyote Pass thing got put on way hold. But like Janelle was like, it was the only thing keeping her going. So she moved into a trailer on the property thinking that would inspire things to get moving. And it just didn't. And then Christine left. Cody wanted her to take Christine's house, which is just weird and creepy in so many ways.
And after he said, I hate this house. I don't even want to drive by this house. He's like, you know what? You should buy this house.
He's like, this is a good investment. This is a good investment. Mm-hmm. Cody is so full of contradictions and he doesn't listen, he's not a good spokesman for plural marriage. He's not a good spokesman for being a man. He's not a good a human. And I heard, well, I don't go on Reddit or anything, but people are telling me that his job is he sells guns.
I think so. I've read that it was some illegal gun something, but that's why they don't talk about it on TLC because he does something in the gun trade. So they don't talk about it. He'll just talk about his business, but he doesn't say what it is.
But he seems like he has multiple cars. He's going he's always in a different car and he's always moving. And he must have really thought he was like a player back in the day when it was all working. He was like, I'm so busy with all my wives and my kids and and now we're seeing the other side of it. And it took only 17 seasons to get there, but it's like really, really fascinating. This Sunday night is going to be the quote unquote reunion, but they're not all even in the same room. They're just one-on-one with an interviewer.
Which I think is actually better because I feel like part of the reason we didn't see this dissension amongst all of them is because they would all be together. So if Cody started getting too far off track, one of the wives would say, well, I think what Cody's saying is, and kind of help him out of a hole. Now he's just digging himself in a hole and producers are like, keep going. He's too dumb to figure it out.
He's literally he'll grunt now. He'll be like, oh man, oh geez, oh darn. And that's how he, what are the other things that I've missed in the 17 seasons? If I started 3 seasons ago, was he ever physically abusive to any of these women? Was he ever, mentally abusive? I think you could have an argument for.
Yeah.
I believe
there was ever any talk of that. They've never even referred to anything like that.
Okay. That's, and the other thing is, I believe I know the answer is no, but they've not all had sex together.
No, they don't go weird. That's a big thing they say in those early seasons. We don't go weird. And that means they're only with him.
Just missionary, just straight. We do not go weird. No, but actually
weird.
That's a big differentiation. If you watch something like The Vow and Nixium and all of that stuff,
right.
If you're thinking about cult-like things, that is interesting that even within the confines of a plural marriage, they still have rules. They still they don't want to be creepy with it or what they say.
Yeah.
So what do you think is do you have any information about Mary leaving? Do you know what she's planning on doing? Do you know anything?
Well, I was reading that People article that came out today, and then it shows a clip from this week's reunion. So I think where they're actually coming up with this idea that she left is during that clip. Did you happen to watch it?
No, I didn't get to watch it yet.
Oh, okay.
I was at my workout when I
Oh,
was
look
like,
at you being responsible.
oh,
Yeah.
dude, I'm so, like, I need the workout. Like, I'm like, but yeah, I was at working out, so I didn't get to see anything. So I was like, yeah, come on the show. Like, it was
Oh,
perfect.
yeah. So, well, the clip is just the host saying to Mary, watch this clip of Cody. And it's when Cody says, if Mary wants to go with another man, I wouldn't object. And remember, Robin said, for Christine to actually be divorced, she has to sleep with another man. She has to be physical with another man. So he's just like, I am as divorced from Mary as I can be. And so Mary basically says in this clip, yeah, I wanted to be back together with him. And I said, if this isn't working, we should make a public statement. And he said, no, I don't want to do that because people will judge me too harshly. So you'd rather drag this woman for years and years than to just say to the public.
Said horrible things about this woman. Horrible things. Like, listen, Mary was taken in by a catfish situation, but still half these things that he said is so mean and just really, really, really mean. And it's like, he seems like he has the, empathy of an 8-year-old boy. Like, it's like, you hurt me. And he keeps talking about his male pain. Like you don't know what it's like as a man. Like humiliated me. And he keeps thinking that he's like, really, he's right. And I find it very interesting that he never listens.
Oh, he doesn't have the ability to. And it's interesting because early on, the reason this all kind of worked where the kids were young, they respected their dad, they loved him, it was fun. But as they grew up and were like, oh, you actually treat my mom really bad. I don't like this. And they're not having anything to do with him. And so now I think he's turning on them because they're starting to see this isn't really right. And now the moms are saying, hold on, maybe my kids are right. It's not okay that you're doing this. So I'm all for them. Every last one of them suckers leaving. Just everyone get out, burn Coyote Pass to the ground.
That's what I said. Make a White Lotus over at Coyote Pass, or like, let's do something productive. Idea. Let's do something productive on Coyote Pass. But by the way, I'm my parents live in Arizona, and I was like, oh my God, is it worth the 2.5-hour drive to Flagstaff to go take a picture at Coyote Pass? But what if I then Cody shoots me on Coyote Pass because I'm an intruder or something? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, look at this. I'm protecting my family,
Yeah, he's just sitting out there from Robin's mansion in the sky, watching anyone come onto the property.
Okay, so we don't know really. That's what we've got so far. But what can we? Like, or do you have any predictions? Because God told him to do this. Do you think God is going to be like, whoops, my bad. Like, let's rethink here. Let's do it. Like, do you think he'll get a new sister wife, or is he done with plural marriage?
I almost think he would to keep the show going because they don't have, he has this gun sale thing, whatever, but I don't think they're doing that great with it. Mary makes LuLaRoe money. Janelle and Christine are doing something. Robin's doing absolutely nothing but spending money. We know that. So I think there is a chance that he would have to. Robin wants a best friend that she can, share her cold sores with. So there's a chance that, for a new season, because I've heard this and I can't say that it's completely true, but the show was supposed to be canceled a few years ago. You've probably
I didn't know that. No, I didn't.
Yeah. Because it was boring. There wasn't a lot going on. I was watching, but nobody else was. And and so instead of them each making, I think it was, I'm just throwing a number out there, like $120,000 each. Each adult was making that a season, right? Cody renegotiated and said, hey, if you'll keep us on, you can just pay one flat fee. So
oh my God. That's what the other thing I did read. I didn't know that they had made more, but I did know that that's what I was about to say is that you guys, they don't make any money. That's why like even the opening intro is the same picture now for like 8 or like so long because they're not re-recording the intro because they're like, we're not going to put money into that. So it's a really basic show that must be really cheap to produce. And TLC has to be making huge money on this because like they're not making money off of. That's why it's so funny. Everybody keeps thinking like, well, why can't they afford this mansion? Why can't they just start building on Coyote Pass? They don't have the money and they are locked into a contract now. And the ratings are at an all-time high on this show. And it's real like TLC doesn't mess around. Like it's not like Bravo where like Lisa Rinna's like, hey, I have you over the barrel. No, TLC is like, good luck trying to find work elsewhere.
I know. Where else are you going to go?
we do shows on tumors and stuff, you know, like we're going to be fine.
You got a pimple?
Yeah, let me know if any of your friends have. That's the email they get at TLC. Like, happy holidays. By the way, if you have any new friends with pimples, let us know. We have a programming slot for them. So you don't like, I mean, the keeping the show going thing is a really interesting point that I think is you're dead on, is that he'll have to do it to keep this going because nobody wants to just see him and Robin.
Oh my gosh. Do you remember? Well, first of all, their Halloween thing was horrifying. It was one of the most horrifying
You
things
guys,
I've ever seen.
They had three, they put it all like, instead of trick-or-treating around the block, they put it all at different doors in their house. And it was so sad. And he made everybody, he goes, I don't even want to dress in costumes, but Robin, or like he blamed it on,
but he'll
one
do
of
it because of
wives.
Robin. Yeah.
Yeah, Robin.
said to
And
do
then the
it.
kids had to knock on their like back door and then go to the front door and knock for candy. It was like 3 doors. And he was like, and he acted like he was father. He was like, oh, family. It's crazy, right?
Right. Yeah. That's what he always does. But that's the rewatch. The value in that is to see that he's Truly and Solomon. So Truly's one of Christine's youngest kids, or it is her youngest kid, and Solomon is Robin's young kid. The two of them, he treats totally different, even from a young age. He's always got Solomon, and Truly's kind of Christine's kid. You hear him say, your kids, your kids, your kids, never our kids. It's
guys,
wild.
it's so awkward when he like hugs the other kids, like it's just weird. And you can tell like, it's just this, and I think that's what makes it such compelling television, is that you can feel the awkwardness on behalf of the kids. And the other thing that I love about us all digging this and talking about this online and like memes and all that stuff is that it shows these women that there is this afterlife. They're not tied to Cody. There is such goodwill for these women. You know, like when Christine left, everybody was like, woo, like freedom. And I think Janelle got a really positive response. And Mary, like I posted a meme earlier, everybody's just like, go girl, run. Like I love that. And does Cody, I don't really dig in like I should, but does Cody have an internet presence at all?
He used to. And according to Peyton, who's like one of Christine's, her oldest son, he is online and he watches the show, but he and Robin don't post anymore. And you can check back a show I really like, We Love to Hate Everything. They like will read through Instagram comments like on the most recent post, and it's like 3 years old, but people come there and trash Robin and Cody because they are, that's the only place they can do it. So they still have it, but they haven't posted in years.
Well, okay, that's what I was wondering, because I was like, he shouldn't be online this year.
He does
like
Cameo, though.
Oh, does he? Wait. Let's find. I'm going to open up Cameo. Do you have a couple more minutes?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, I want to open up Cameo and see what Cody's price is. Because you ever like consider that for your show? Like we've got to like, maybe this is the way to interview these people is through Cameo.
That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea.
Cody Cameo. Let's see what the price on this is. It seems like he'll take less if we offer him less. Okay, so Cody. Oh wow. You can book a personalized video for $99 and you can text message him for $10. And there's examples of him where he's like, he looks insane in some of these videos.
He looks like caveman. What was it? The caveman lawyer from SNL, but like
Phil Hartman played.
Yeah.
He guarantees 24-hour delivery, but he only has average video length of 1:13. So he doesn't have a lot of length. But he does a lot of pep talks. We loved our Cameo. Thank you so much for making our day. Wow. Thank you so much for the tips, and bless you and your family, which he just means Robin's family, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting. $99. I don't think I'll pony up for that, but it would be, I would want to know, like, because he would want sympathy right now. Like 100%. If you put a message of like, Cody, you're in the right, man. Like, I hope you're hanging in there. He'd be like, brother, you see it. You get it.
I'm in the manosphere as well. That's what he wants to hear.
brother, women, right? Women. So we don't know, which I'm so excited. Do you know if this reunion is going to be 2 or 3 parts?
3.
Oh God. And the reunions are so jankily produced as well, where it's like I feel like they went into an old Pier 1 that still has furniture in it. And they're like, I guess we can shoot right here in this sofa section. And so it's
in the IKEA section where you just get stuck in a corner and don't know which way to go. Exactly.
That's it. I mean, so it's not, I don't know what to really expect out of the reunion. Although I will say I'm very sad that this season is ending. Like
Yeah.
I watch this now and I am so behind on 90 Day Fiance. I don't even,
Yeah.
because this to me rings true like no other reality show right now.
Totally. It's the most compelling thing on. I mean, I have a friend that wrote me and said, Sister Wives is all over my TikTok. Why didn't you tell me it's gotten so good? I'm like, yeah, no, it's been a couple years, but get on it. It's compelling right now. I mean, Housewives right now, I don't even think has the kind of storylines we have here, even though I do wonder if Cody does have the same hand condition as Kyle Richards. And that's the glove thing. Like I can't get over the gloves.
Wait,
I can't
that's my
figure it
cameo
out.
question. Cody, what's up with the gloves? Like,
I
or
know.
Cody, can you put your gloves on for this cameo? Like, can I see your hands?
You don't have to ask. That's just part of the package.
Cody's into like cowboy hats like Kyle. I met my Kimo
Oh,
Sabe in Flagstaff.
yeah. Janelle's always called him her cowboy. She's really into that with him. So you're right.
Well, do we know where Janelle is? Did she go to Utah too?
I think she might have stayed in Flagstaff because she really, really liked Flagstaff. But I know today I saw something where people said she's got a house now because she talks about Gabe planted my flowers and blah, blah, blah. And you could kind of see, everybody's an investigator now. So we're all trying to figure this out.
And I got to tell you, Christine looks better than she ever has.
Oh,
Christine, her smile, like I got to say, she's really pretty. Like she really had a glow up since she left Cody. And I just like, I mean, I think happiness, I know this is not a great like tip, but like, I think happiness really suits people well when they remove themselves from really bad situations. Like sometimes things do work out if you're like brave enough to leave.
Totally.
Just a little bit about your podcast too, Melissa. So you have two podcasts. Criminality, they've been on before and they're great. And I really think I want more people to listen to Criminality. Moms and Murder, which is going to be Moms and Mysteries very soon, has a very established audience and it's really, truly amazing. How would you describe the difference between the two podcasts?
Moms and Murder is a lot of murder. It's a lot of true crime.
Is it only mom murder or is it only? No, I'm joking.
It's been a whole.
You guys are the moms.
I get that question a lot. Yeah, we're the moms in the situation. And as far as Criminality, that's like it's true crime light more so. It's more the reality stars. We did do a story on the Sister Wives. They didn't really have any legal trouble, but polygamy was a legal thing. So I was able to make an entire story and force Rebecca to learn about Sister Wives like a year ago. So if you're liking the true crime more with a murder thing, Moms and Murder, soon to be Moms and Mysteries.
You guys already covered the Jen Shaw stuff, right?
We did not. Can you believe it?
I do, but you'll cover I believe one episode you covered, which is a fascinating story to me, David Spade and his assistant.
Yeah,
which is a really weird thing that a lot of people don't know about. This is a decade ago, but his assistant went crazy on him one night and tried to kill David Spade in his own house.
Yeah.
And I heard the story on Howard Stern when he was on years ago.
Yeah.
But I was so excited that you guys did an episode on it because there's these little pockets of pop culture that people forget about entirely. That you would be like, what, David Spade, his assistant tried to kill him? And it was like, yeah.
And he was on Bachelor in Paradise. So we were able to pull him as our reality. I was like, I got to make a connection. I love David
By the way,
Spade.
he was a co-host for a couple episodes of Bachelor in Paradise. And he was my favorite. I'm like, for some reason, his style of humor, I love his style of pop culture humor. And then Moms and Murder, you guys are changing your name. And I think it's obvious what, like Moms and Mysteries, it's, and you make a point of saying it's, don't worry guys, it's still going to be murder. We're just changing our names. And you were like, in the last episode, some people, it is funny how some people get used to things. They're so scared of change, like these Sister Wives, that they some people complain that you would change your name. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's wild, but I do understand change is hard. Ask Mary, it's been 34 years. But we have always covered other things as well as murder. And there's just something about hearing small children say Moms and Murder that sometimes makes you question what you're doing. And so we just thought we'd make it easier for other people to share us, because I don't even put anything on. I have like a magnet over here. I don't put it on my car or anything because I worry. I don't want people to think something, and it's my name.
Listen, that's murder. I have a show called So Bad It's Good where I even question that sometimes of like, oh, I'm saying like, it's kind of like, well, I'm saying, but it's like, so bad it's already a negative title, it's already, and I use like the word, like the things that we love to hate, and I'm like, as I get going I'm like, that's such a hard way to start, but I've said it a couple of times of like potentially changing, and people have like shot it down immediately.
No, that's a good one. That's a good,
but it's hard though when you start negative. Well,
yeah.
What if I change it to so bad it's murder? Like, is that good?
I would advise against it, but so bad it's mysteries could work for you. I don't know.
Also, I saw you guys on Moms and Murder. You did a TV project recently. Has that come? Can you talk about that real quick?
Yeah, we did. We were on 2020 a couple weeks ago over near Thanksgiving. It was an episode called Tainted Love, and it was about the Celeste Beard case. Wild story of her having her lover kill her husband, and was she in on it, or did the lover just want to do that? And so it was an interesting experience. You've done some TV stuff, Ryan. It's cool, right?
I was saying congratulations, because it really is. That's the stuff, like, I never want to be on a Dateline episode, like, like unless I'm like one of the interviewers, but like, I had Chris Hansen on today from like To Catch a Predator. And I was like, dude, and it was so weird because I was like starstruck, and I was like, this guy catches pedophiles and I'm treating him like a star. I'm like, wow, it's like this guy, but it's
tell
really
me to take a seat.
Have some sweet tea. But congratulations. It really, and so Moms and Murder, the name is changing. So if you're looking for it in the new year, if you're listening to this late, it's going to be Moms and Mysteries. So go check it out. But Criminality, I really want you to check out. I think there's some really, really interesting stuff that you guys especially would dig on there. And they've been on this show before, so you can go find that episode as well. Is there anything else coming up? Are you doing any live shows, anything?
Nothing that's out there yet, but thank you so much for promoting us. You're doing a much better job than I ever have.
No, I really, I was so excited because I'm so disorganized. Like, this is where I excel, but everything else I fail at. Like, it was by luck that I saw your DM. I would have normally not seen it at all. And I was like rushing to a trainer, and I saw the message pop up, and I was like, oh, this is perfect. And so thank you for making it work today, because this is your Friday episode, you guys. So, but thank you for wanting to talk to me, and hopefully we'll find out some more revelations on Sunday, and you'll be able to come back for season 18, and we can find out what the heck is going on. But until then, you guys, go subscribe to those podcasts. If you haven't, check out an episode, rate it 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and have a great holiday season and new year. And I'll talk to you very soon.
Thanks, you as well.